Legend of Total War here, and this is just a follow-up video on the one I made before in regard to drop hacking. So I wanted to clarify and refine a few things that I said, just because, the longer I leave it, the worse it'll get. I've already had one person email me a replay of what is an actual drop hack. The thing that I was mentioning before aren't necessarily drop hacks. It's just a terminology error, probably on my part. But I guess we should be very clear on what these are. So the ones that I experienced were draw hacks. It's even calling it a hack is borderline. It's a rage quit draw, basically, where you Alt F4 out of the game and it causes a draw. Now, the replay that was sent to me was something else entirely. It was a battle between Empire and Dwarves, and from the Dwarves' perspective, where the Empire player was losing by a very small margin, and then all of a sudden, it was a decisive defeat for the Dwarves. So it wasn't a draw hack. The guy didn't just Alt F4. He somehow managed to hack the game or whatever to make the other person lose. Now, this person is definitely going on my Hall of Shame. That's King Leon. I've never even seen that happen before. Where someone who was essentially losing just automatically wins the game. I mean, the timer wasn't running out. It was only 8 minutes into the battle, so it just didn't make any sense at all. The other thing I need to clarify is in regard to my own Hall of Shamers. Now, I mentioned 3 people before who forced the draw on me, basically. Prematurely at the fairly early on. Now, the first one, definitely a drop hack. It was well into the fight. Draw hack. I don't know what to call it really. Well into the fight. You'll see this video eventually. And forced the draw on me, without the timer having run out. Like I've said before, if the timer runs out, by them flying around the map, it's annoying, but I don't have a problem with it. I'm probably guilty of doing that once or twice myself. So, it'd be a hypocrite for me to say otherwise. The second match was against the Magnus. Now, this match here was different from the other two in that the battle hadn't actually commenced. It had only been the beginning of it. However, from what the very small amount of what I had seen, his army did not stand a chance against it. It was the completely wrong build, and saw him as dropping out. So I knew I was going to win that match. Not to be arrogant or anything, but 90% of those battles I do win. Anyway, the Magnus turns out to be a very small YouTuber himself, and fairly active in the tournament community, something I am very much not a part of. So I wasn't aware of him. Had I been aware of him, I probably would have handled things a little bit differently. But in usual fashion, I make a fucking mess of things. That's fine. My way is making a mess of things and then just fucking try and clean it up later. Anyway, so that's what this is. A little bit of cleaning up here. So what haven't really spoken to him, but he came on and I guess expressed his train of thoughts as to why he didn't feel like he should be forced to fight an army that he considered to be cheese, even though that one is arguable, whatever. It was within the first few seconds of the battle. It probably hadn't even been 30 seconds into the fight. So I'm taking him off the Hall of Shame list. That being said, I don't think there's... Here's the thing. The community is full of different people. We've all got different ways we want to play. Everyone has fun in different ways. And although, there's a tournament players who feel like they should only ever be going up against people with legitimate tournament builds, and I reject that notion of, morality or whatever. That I don't feel like I have to be subjected to tournament builds when I go into quick battles, because it's a quick battle, it's not a tournament. If I'm going in a tournament, I'll bring a tournament build. If I'm going into quick battle, I'll do whatever I want. My earliest experience with quick battles were getting smashed by cheese armies, and so I just learnt to adapt to that. I adapted a regular build with a bit of cheese, and I came up with some pretty winning army builds, especially the Bretonnia one. And that's how I do things. That's why I've risen so far up the ladder. And there is, regardless of who shows up in the quick battle thing, I fight everyone, and I don't drop hack. I've never drop hacked. I've done a lot of dirty things, in regard to squig spamming and all that kind of stuff. But I always considered that the draw hacking was a line that I would never cross, regardless of who I'm up against. Now I've gone into battles and seen I just brought the completely wrong army, and I've gone, oh crap, I'm screwed. Just straight away knew that there was nothing I could do. Like I brought all spearmen or a lot of spearmen to fight up against 3 steam tanks or something like that. It's just it would never work. But you just try and do it anyway. See, sometimes you surprise yourself. Sometimes you might even win. You never know. So that's why I don't do that. But that being said, 2 different sets of ethics. We shouldn't necessarily be subjected to shouldn't subject everyone to our own things. Just because I want to fight everyone doesn't mean everyone should feel that way. Same with the tournament build. Just because the tournament players like to play under these tournament rules, which I don't consider to be particularly interesting, doesn't mean everyone should be subjected to it. So I'm taking the Magnus off the Hall of Shame. That doesn't necessarily mean we're on good terms or anything. I didn't appreciate what I considered to be pretty much a sure thing for a victory, but whatever. Agree to disagree, have differences. It's fine. Look, I don't want to start shit because it's a good point that he brought up. We don't necessarily need to start drama within the Total War community. It's unnecessary. We can agree to disagree. So he's getting taken off the list. But King Leon is going on the list for what I see. That was fucking horrible. In fact, you know what? Let's actually fucking. I'll show you this fucking replay. This was just fucking horseshit. This one here. Obviously, a lot of these ones are the tournament that I posted. Okay, so we're watching this in the view of Shetland Apache. This is the guy that sent me the replay. So we're watching it from his point of view. It's his non-tournament legit army, maybe. I don't know. Is six gyrocopters tournament legit? I don't know. I don't care either. And we don't need to see the ins and outs of this battle. So it's a 10-minute long battle, so it wasn't the timer didn't run out. And we don't need to see the whole thing. So there's a whole bunch of fucking around going on here. And this is actually really interesting. I've never seen anyone do this. They bring 6 gyrocopters to take out Flying Goon Squad. This might actually work quite well against Bretonia. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, well, I won't know until I've gone up against it. The thing is, with these 2 units here, is that they're much slower than these ones, but I bring 2 Pegasus Knights as well, and a Paladin or Pegasus Knight could easily smash one of these battalions. And they're not exactly that cheap either, so I don't know. But of course, when I go up against dwarves, I do bring a Griffin. So what we're seeing here, of course, we've got the Sunmaker, of course, usually a very bad option to bring against Bretonia, but not necessarily a bad choice to bring against the dwarves. So you can see the balance of powers evenly matched at the moment, but you'll see soon it'll move in the dwarves' favour, and then abruptly decisive defeat for the dwarves. So you can see the balance of power moving in his favour. He's microing quite well. That is definitely in his favour right there. And then it moves a little bit more in the middle, but still in the dwarf's favour, slightly. And then, boom. What the fuck was this? I mean, the only explanation for this is that he actually conceded defeat. But why would he do that? He was kind of winning, like he'd almost killed the enemy general. And then, yeah, it just didn't make any sense. I mean, it's not a draw. But apparently, I don't know. If you guys want to explain it to me, that's fine. But yeah, this doesn't make any sense at all. Why would you quit at that point in the battle? So something happened. He did something to force this other person to be defeated. Anyway, so some people are saying, what am I doing with this? Why am I, trying to name and shame people? Well, the whole drop hacking thing has been going, draw hacking or whatever, has been going on ever since apparently like Shogun 2 or whatever, ever since ranked battles. Well, maybe even before then or whatever, has been going on. And Creative Assembly has not really fixed that. So, you know, whenever Creative Assembly doesn't do anything, we kind of need to take it upon ourselves to do it ourselves. Now, in me doing a Hall of Shame, I will make mistakes from now and again, because when you only look at things from one point of view, it's hard to know exactly what happened. Which is why, you know, when the Magnus wanted to explain his situation, I needed to listen to it in a calm manner and then make a judgment call as to whether or not it was actually, you know, foul play or whatever. And I decided, you know what, fair enough. The battle just hadn't really started, so fair enough. I was still pissed off, of course, that, you know, I was denied a victory because I considered it a sure thing, but it doesn't matter. But that's fine. But anyway, hopefully, you know, we can end up with a list of legitimate, you know, people that will essentially draw hack or whatever, and hopefully we haven't got any innocents in there. But if we do have any, if I do put your name up on the list, on the Hall of Shame, the best way to handle it is not to, like, have a rage fest on my channel. I mean, my email address is right there. Message me and send me your side of the story. And most, you know, I can be pretty reasonable at times, as long as you don't come at me with, like, a dick. Because if you come at me like a dick, I fucking won't give a shit. So, yeah, I don't know where we're going to go with this, but it's just something different. I like to try things differently, because, you know, it was a shit experience. Those 3 battles, which I considered to be sure thing, 3 victories, I thought were in the bag, and I was denied those 3 victories. But, you know, it happens. It's not the end of the world. The leaderboard is not that important. Where am I currently on the leaderboard now? Oh, what am I called now? Yeah, I'm Leg of Ham at the moment. Might do a couple of battles as Leg of Ham. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this episode. Hopefully that can clarify a few things. Hopefully myself and the Magnus are going to be cool. I don't think we're ever going to see eye to eye in regard to the tournament rules sort of things, but we don't necessarily have to agree in order to be able to show respect. I think that's the main thing. So, you know, in regard to that, guys, there were a few people that went over to his channel and started giving him hate. You guys should know by now, that is the last thing I want you to do. Whenever you guys go and do that, and you go and dislike videos just because I make a video that may have called them out on something, that is just the last thing that we need. So really, just don't do it. If you're going to comment on it, comment on my videos, okay? Don't go over to their things and give them shit. Because, you know, I post, like, when someone posts shit about me on Reddit, which happens, you know, whenever there's a bug on Total War Warhammer, I bring it to light. There's always some fucking dude that puts, Legend of Total War's fucking found another bug, and then a bunch of Reddit assholes come over and dislike the fuck out of my videos. And I don't like that. I don't enjoy it. It's a shit thing to go through. And the last thing I want to do is subject other people to that shit experience when you know you haven't done anything wrong, and yet you're getting hate for something that you just feel like you're just showing people something. Anyway, we'll leave it at that, and hopefully we can get to have a bit more of an honest community. That's all I really want. And we'll see how we go from there. Anyway, I'll see you next time, fuckers.